Hi, my name's Tracy Krieger, and I'm here to talk to you today about the competitive strategy model and orthopedic practices within York County. Um, First, I want to apologize for this being a little late. It's getting a little crazy at work with this just about a month and a half from go live, and with our Epic system. And really, I was kind of confused about this assignment. I hope I'm on the right track here. So let's get started and I'll be able to tell you your feedback whether I did this right. So when we look at the competitive strategy model, we're looking at three areas. You can either focus kind of on the cost aspect of it. You can kind of focus on being different and standing out within your industry. And then the third is to even take that a step further and focus down to a target group. So if you look at the cost, well, that could be anything from offering the lowest price for your products or services, or to maybe being the most profitable by reducing your cost to produce whatever you do, whether it be a service or a product. The strategy of differential, which I think is where I'm going to kind of focus when I talk about the orthopedics, it looks for something like you can offer somebody something that nobody else in your industry can offer. And then third is to actually target to take that a step further and look at a group. So when you look at like a grocery store industry, you may have grocery stores now, like the new farmers market where it's mainly supposed to be fresh produce, or you could get organic, or so that would be taking it down and narrowing it to a more specific target group. So I decided to look at the four practices within York County that specializes in orthopedics. The first one we can look at WellSpan's Health Orthopedics. We can look at the OSS, which is Orthopedic Spine Specialist, and then there's Martin Foot and Ankle, and then there's also Premier Ankle and Foot Specialist. So, if we look at these and how are they similar? When you look at, there's almost two groups, because you kind of have OSS and WellSpan. They kind of compare the same way. And then you also have Martin Foot and Ankle and Premier Foot or Ankle and Foot Specialist, who kind of can be compared in the same way. So when you look at OSS, used to just be kind of like a doctor's office. Most of their work would come to either one of the local hospitals in the area. So they had decided to eventually, break out. They now have their own surgical center. They have their own like inpatient like rehab, where if you have surgery there, you can actually stay at the orthopedic or the OSS building. So that was that was their way of stepping out, being like a specialized surgical center hospital that focused strictly on orthopedics. So when this happened, WellSpan also had to kind of step up their game. And one of the reasons that OSS did this is because WellSpan had brought on an orthopedic practice. So once we brought on that orthopedic practice, OSS had to figure out a way to stand out. So then after OSS built their own building with their surgical center, WellSpan figured, how can we, give that uniqueness, because not everybody, but most people know the WellSpan name. So they had built a surgery hospital that focuses strictly on a lot of the orthopedics. You can stay right there at that hospital, and if you need rehabilitation, or PTOT, you can actually move over to that side of the building, and everything's done at one location. So those two, OSS and WellSpan, they keep pushing each other, whether it be, well, we can do arthroscopic surgeries now where you can, and, they're just always looking to have that one unique feature over the other one. When you look at Martin Foot and Ankle, and you look at the Premier ankle and foot, they're kind of like if you need little procedures, they can be done in the office. Now, Martin Foot and Ankle has also increased that a little bit to offer some minor surgeries within one of their practices. So when you look at this, each one kind of has their own little level. And I'm saying about the similarities now, and I'm also kind of talking about the differences. But I think it's trying to find that uniqueness within there, because when you do look at the differences, you have um, WellSpan compared to the OSS. If something's happening with um, other than orthopedics, WellSpan also has the capability of treating that also, where OSS a lot of times would have to then refer their patients to somewhere else. So WellSpan has that brand name, where OSS is strictly an orthopedics. And then, like I said, as far as the difference with the other two is Martin Foot and Ankle are starting to do some minor surgical procedures at their practices rather than always coming to the hospital or Apple Hill Surgical Center. So in conclusion, like I said, I really was kind of off base with this and really struggled all week to figure out what I was going to do. Everybody in no matter what industry you're in, they either want to be the best or offer the best at the best price. So the comparative strategy model is just a way that you can kind of look at it and figure out what you need to do. Thanks, and I hope I did okay.